I love Drive My Car. For me, it's one of the strongest films of the last 5 years. And it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm a big fan of Haruki Murakami. The film exudes such strong symbolism, such powerful interaction between its characters, that it will be difficult for me to summarize all the important aspects in one video. Nevertheless, I will try to put my words here. Winning the Oscar for Best Foreign Film was more than deserved. If any movie deserved it at that year's ceremony, it was Drive My Car. It fulfilled all the requirements. Not only does it bring together several actors from different nations, some of whom don't even speak the same language. No, the mere fact that so much is communicated here via unspoken words is masterful. Let's talk about the characters. Yusuke Kafuku, brilliantly played by Hidetoshi Nishijima, is a theater actor and director. His magnum opus is Uncle Vanya. Uncle Vanya is a drama in 4 acts, and Drive My Car is also a drama in 4 acts. The film begins with a prequel that was not included in this form in Haruki Murakami's short story of the same name. Instead, the makers of the film took some aspects of Yusuke's past and developed them into a first act in which his wife Oto is much more present than in the short story. Oto is a successful screenwriter. One of their rituals is that she reads passages from her text to him after intimate moments, and this also includes a nod to Murakami's short story Scheherazade. This motif continues with Yusuke's practicing his lines, which Oto records onto tapes that he listens to in the car. He hears his wife's voice every day, but never her own words. There seems to be a deep rift between the two of them. One day, Oto introduces him to a young colleague called Takatsuki. As luck would have it, Yusuke returns home early one evening and finds Oto and Takatsuki in his living room without either of them noticing. Yusuke says nothing about it and accepts it. A little later, Oto asks him for a talk, but it doesn't happen. Yusuke finds Oto dead at home. She dies of a brain hemorrhage. Then, finally after 14 minutes, the opening credits start. 2 years later, Yusuke gets a job as a director for a multilingual performance of Uncle Vanya. The job takes him to the theater in Hiroshima. There, he meets the Korean Gong Yeon-soo. The theater festival requires that he be chauffeured in his own car for insurance reasons, and despite his initial reluctance, he eventually bonds with his reserved young driver, Misaki Watari. This is where the movie unfolds its full power. Many different characters come together. To Yusuke's surprise, Takatsuki also applies for the casting and ends up getting the role of Uncle Vanya, which he himself played in the past. Among others, Yusuke also meets the deaf-mute actress Lee Yu-na, who, as it turns out later, is Yeon-soo's wife. At a dinner together, Yusuke is confronted with the fact that even the communication between Yu-na and Yeon-soo is stronger than the language barrier. But even more interesting is the interaction between Yusuke and Misaki. They are distant at first, but build up more and more trust in each other. There are many burdens in their past that they have never talked about openly. Director Ryusuke Hamaguchi asks open questions here about the often familiar Japanese reserve. Both Yusuke and Misaki rarely show any feelings, even though they have an infinite amount of emotions inside them that they never let out. The younger, hot-blooded Takatsuki, who finds it difficult to contain his anger, is the spitting image of Yusuke. This becomes clear in the casting and in 2 important bar scenes in which the two talk. By the way, these bar scenes are a nod to Murakami's short story, Kino. The car rides with Yusuke and Misaki are like a therapy for the two of them. When they pick up Takatsuki one evening, they sit next to each other for the first time. The young, hot-blooded Takatsuki, Yusuke's repressed side, has to step into the comfort zone so that they can get closer for the very first time. All these threads finally come together. When Oto dies, Yusuke is not only sad about her death, it is also the unspoken words that linger in the room. The text that the mute Yu-na whispers to him in sign language brings out more emotions in him than his wife's voice ever could. Misaki has to fight her own inner demons, and finally she is able to confront her past and allow her feelings to come out. Drive My Car is about people who are suffering and how you can save your life in times of grief and create new connections with other people.